CNN anchor Don Lemon is out after 17 years.
Just found out Don Lemon was terminated from CNN.
Look, I think that this could be a good cultural move for CNN.
The new show, Mike Tyson Mysteries, airs every Monday
Don
night
Lemon
at 10:30 p.m.
What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? Welcome back to Moxy Approved. It's been a few days since Don Lemon was terminated as an anchor for CNN, which is a position he held for 17 years. People, including Don Lemon, are still scratching their heads on how someone who seemed to be one of the most prominent figures for CNN can lose his position so abruptly. In this video, I'm going to show where things really went south between Don Lemon and CNN. And spoiler alert, it's not where most people are saying things went sour. But before we get to that, please do me one small favor and hit that like button. Make sure you got that notification bell turned all the way up to all. And if you haven't yet, apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button. Don Lemon posted up a tweet saying he was stunned after learning he was cut from his CNN anchor position that he held for years. I personally was in shock knowing the role Don Lemon played for CNN and how important it is for that station to have someone in that role. Don Lemon was literally perfect for it. He is a high yellow, watered down LGBTQ Negro that is married to a white real estate agent, Tim Malone. The role Don Lemon played was not to be an exact representation of the black community, but rather a puppet to push an agenda of what liberals in media would like more of the black community to be: whitewashed and gay. It was the perfect marriage. Don Lemon represented a modern liberal group who are progressive toward blacks only by appearance, but really never had the black community's best interest in mind. Years ago, he covered the Ferguson-Michael Brown case in the exact way CNN wanted it to be, pointing out the irrelevant situations.
They're on top of the roofs of cars, the tops of cars, and obviously there's a smell of marijuana in the air as well.
Attacking other black factions with boots on the ground who relayed messages that CNN did not want displayed.
No sense. So what I'm saying is the headline should say is common to the cops agitated to people.
Can I talk?
And that's what the headline should read.
Okay, so we have addressed everything that you're saying.
Please.
Okay? That's what you saw from your position.
That's why I'm here.
You're not seeing everything that's going on.
Of course not.
So from your position,
Only
the
my
article that
perspective.
you're looking at on CNN is one of hundreds, if not thousands, that are written.
That's true.
And also, it's a small part of 24 hours of news coverage that we have here on CNN.
Which is why I said
And
it wasn't
understand
intentional.
your anger.
Which is
And
why I
as
said it
far
wasn't
as-
intentional.
As far as you saying me coming up, I have a job to do. What I'm doing on television is in this phone. I'm reading. Hang on. I'm reading.
I would have enough respect to
I'm
greet
reading-
you if I've never met you
hang
before,
on,
brother.
I'm reading-
To greet you,
I'm
say, how
reading-
you doing? It's nice
I
to
said
meet
how
you.
you're doing.
No, you did not.
I did.
No, you didn't. That's
Did
a
I-
lie.
Did I not?
No,
walk
you
up to
didn't.
you
We
and
have it
say
on tape.
hello?
No, you
Yes,
didn't.
I did. I
You
walked up
skated
to you.
by here, and I said hello to you, and you said, hey, what's up? You didn't say my name. You didn't do none of that.
I'm trying to
Come
get on the
man.
air. I'm working.
I'm
I said
working
hello,
too.
Hello to you. I'm trying to be respectful to you to make sure that I say your name properly.
The first thing you did when I'm telling my perspective is cut me off, and I'm telling you from my like
not trying
like
to
you
cut you
correctly
off.
said, it's only my perspective. That's all I can be
Will you just
responsible.
listen to me? I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm trying to address each point that you're giving so that nothing is lost in the sauce.
Seeing them seemed rather happy, and they themselves let a lot of Don's gaffes slide, like this.
Can I ask you this, because and please, I don't mean to be crude, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know some of you, and you said this last night, that you lied to him and said, I have an infection, and if you have intercourse with me, then you will probably get it and give it to your wife. And
Right.
you said he made you perform oral sex.
Right.
You know, there are ways not to perform oral sex if you don't want to do it.
I was kind of stoned at the time, and quite honestly, that didn't even enter my mind. Now I wish it would have.
Right.
But
Meaning the using of the teeth, right?
yes,
to-
that's what I'm
as a
thinking.
weapon,
You're,
is what
yeah,
you're
I
saying.
didn't even think of it.
Biting. So,
Ouch.
yes, I had to ask. I mean,
Yes,
it
no,
is-
I didn't. It didn't
yeah.
cross my mind.
Yup, that's Don Lemon asking a woman why didn't she bite Bill Cosby's genitals when he tried to take advantage of her, something most of us would be fired for. His opinion on white anchors using the N-word had a humongous backlash that CNN had no problem ignoring.
But now, because the president said it, I have heard that word, a very hurtful word, over and over and over again.
That's not right.
Just today. It is right.
It is right. No, I disagree with you. We have been able to use that word on this network for the entire 9 years that I've been here.
We haven't done it.
We haven't done it. I've used it. I've done it the entire time that I've been here. And the guidance has been, if the anchor is comfortable saying the word, the anchor can say the word on this network. But if she's on television using that word in context as to what someone said or what was used in a court of law or what have you, then no one should be suspended for that. We should not sanitize that word by saying, this person called such and such the N-word. No, that person didn't call that person the N-word. That person called Sonny, I know you're gonna get upset, that person called you or that person a They didn't say the N-word.
I can't believe,
as journalists,
Don, that you, as an African-American man, is going to use that word just
of course,
so flippantly.
because
Words
we're
matter,
using
and
it.
you should know that.
You're using it in context of a story, and it is relevant. You should be able to say it. In fact, I encourage people to say it because I think you should hear the
people to use a
because
racial
you should
epithet.
hear the impact of the word. No.
Everything was great. CNN had exactly who they needed with Don Lemon. But then the last few years, some interesting things begin to happen. CNN numbers begin to take a huge dive.
Substantial viewer losses this month, shedding 43% in total primetime viewers, 54% from the primetime demographic, 34% in total day viewers, and 43% in total day adults, ages 25 to 54. That's compared to March.
While CNN is still finishing April in basic cable's top 10, the network ranks number 13 in April among total viewers and number 15 in the primetime demographic.
On top of that, Don Lemon's actions begin to change. There was a reported incident where Don profusely cussed out a fellow anchor for what he claimed was a colleague who on air continued to cut him off. This event happened on a commercial break in front of a large group of onlookers who were reportedly stunned at the outburst. Don also had a well-known viral moment where he called out Nikki Haley's comments on a male politician being out of his prime. He returned the favor by stating that women Haley's age are way out of their prime.
A woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What do you
that's
talk?
Not
wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, it'll. If you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and.
That situation got Don placed on probation period along with ethics training. There was also an event kept under wraps where Don allegedly threatened a fellow anchor out of jealousy. He sent this anchor, Kyra Phillips, threatening texts from an undisclosed number, which was later on traced back to him. People are saying that might have been the deal breaker between him and CNN. Others are saying it was this exchange between him and GOP candidate Vivek.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction, you're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
And you know how they got it?
War
They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got, the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don, the
NRA did not play a big role.
Absolutely, they trained black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role.
This is
the fact
through
that I find
civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have a different point of view.
Black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without me regarding you as a black man,
insulting that
but
you're
me regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
That you're
That's what I
sitting
think
here,
we should see.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity
about
I'm, I'll
what
tell
it's
you,
like to be black.
Whatever
in America.
ethnicity I'm, I'll tell
sorry.
you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
the content of the
ideas. If you're going to do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a fair way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way. Okay? But we appreciate you coming on.
With due respect, Don, I look forward to continuing that
Thank you.
conversation.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you
So much.
At one point, poor Poppy looked like she was filling out the form to transfer to CNN Tonight. She wants off this thing. And then she's checking the phone, playing Candy Crush. I don't know what she's doing. But you always can tell the reality by watching the atmospherics on the edge. Poppy Harlow sees the rudeness, the crudeness of Don Lemon, because not only did he disrespect his guest, he also disrespected his co-host by not shutting up. He ran right over her segment, and when she said, well, next time I'd like to talk to you about China, he said, next time.
Oh, wow.
That kind of grandstanding should not be allowed. It's rude, it's crude, and it's horrible to women.
Now, y'all know me. If I don't really care too much for a person, I don't really care to get their name correct. So let's just call this guy Vivek. Vivek himself, after Don Lemon was let go, had this to say.
I think CNN made a sound decision by finally terminating Don Lemon, who I had the opportunity to debate, let's call it that, debate on set 5 days ago. And look, I think that this could be a good cultural move for CNN.
Now, that seems really weird to me. Since when has CNN ever cared about how a GOP politician was treated on their network? Everybody knows Republicans usually get shouted down on CNN the same way Democratic politicians do on Fox Network. So I personally don't believe it was from that altercation, especially since Don was right mostly. An Indian guy cannot speak on true trials and tribulations of blacks in America, especially since they don't get the same treatment. So then what was it? Well, it was a combination of these things we spoke about. They emulate the ultimate realization that Don Lemon began acting out of the character they utilized him for. Like in this video, where Don Lemon speaks on how racism should be dealt with in America.
I see my friends who are young, especially young white mothers, and they say, what can I do? How can I fix this after George Floyd? I don't have the vocabulary to teach my kids. What can I do? And I thought about that a lot, and I offer some advice, and that's what the book is about. That was one of the reasons I wrote the book. But I really do think that we have to start, as I said earlier in the show, we have to start teaching the true history of this country, the history that African Americans brought to this country. And we also have to start being realistic about God and the Bible. And if you are a person of faith in this country, and we know America is built on faith and religious freedom, then we have to, I think a good way of starting is to present the true identity of Jesus, and that is as a black or a brown person, rather than someone who looks like a white hippie from Sweden or Norway. And I think we should start with a true depiction of what Jesus looked like and put that in your home. Either a black Jesus or a brown Jesus, because we knew Jesus looked more like a Muslim or someone who was dark rather than someone who was blonde, a blonde-looking carpenter. And then when your children ask you, who is this? This is Jesus. Jesus was Middle Eastern. Bethlehem was not in Sweden. And so Jesus does not look like the popular depiction that we have in our churches and in our homes and that we see all over the media. And I think that is a good place to start, and that is a good place that your kids will ask questions, and then you can go from there, and then we can come to a true reality about what America really is, and then try to figure out how we fix this issue of racism in the country.
Yes, that is Don Lemon, a gay black man married to a white guy, promoting the celebration of a dark-skinned Jesus, far from the Don Lemon that was brought on to ostracize black people. When you take that and add to the fact that Don Lemon's, as well as CNN as a whole, numbers were down, Don became expendable. He himself was too comfortable in his position after being a puppet boy for years. To him, he was untouchable, until CNN had to show him. No matter if you are LGBTQ, no matter that you are married to a white guy, you are still a you-know-what. Don Lemon's future will be interesting. He has hired the same lawyer as Tucker Carlson, who was also let go from Fox News on the same day as Don. Tucker will maintain his relevancy because of a cult-like following he used Fox News to make for himself. Don Lemon's story is much different due to the fact that he played the anti-black puppet role for so long. But let me know in the comments section, when and if Don Lemon goes independent, will you support? Or is this the end of Don Lemon's career as we know it? Leave your opinion in the comments section. Moxy out.
It's the biggest boss in the game, Ricky Rose. Just found out Don Lemon was terminated from CNN Damn, Don. But guess what? The brothers got your back. We hiring in at Wingstop. And for some reason, I believe you know what you're doing with them lemon pepper wings. So, man, just send over your resume. Well, it was 17 years. But I'm going to make sure I get you in front of the right grill, brother. Stay solid, brother.